Hi, everybody. Coach Allison, and I have week 15 Defy Aging to review. This week we are doing one circuit with only 6 exercises. We're going to go through that circuit for 4 rounds, a little bit different, for 30 seconds on, 40 seconds off. Let's review our 6 exercises. Exercise 1, band anti-rotation side steps, meaning we don't want any sort of rotation like this. We actually want to avoid that. So we have something, a band anchored up to our side. Arms are straight out, okay? You'll have to overlap your grip, I'm sure, on the handle unless you have really tiny hands and you can stack them like this. All right, shoulders down, so we're not shrugging. And also we want to make sure the shoulders are pretty level. If your gym is set up in a way that you can be doing this in front of a mirror, that's great. So you can kind of watch your shoulders. It's hard to tell. Your coach will also help you keep an eye on this. But we don't want the shoulders to be kind of like this or kick one side kicking up or so shoulders level. And we take, you want to start with it already a little bit taut, a little tension. And then you kind of take some steps out as far as you can control it. The farther you step out, the more it's going to be tempting to kind of let yourself kind of get out of alignment, right? But you want to keep that alignment. And then you kind of take those steps right back in till the tension releases a little. Step out. I'm doing 2 steps just because that's how far I can come out and keep the tension and keep good form. But with the tension you have, you might be able to do just 1 big step. That's fine. But again, I have a lighter band, so I'm able to kind of go out a little farther. So only go out as far as you can until, again, you feel that alignment's kind of starting to waver, your form's starting to waver. And yeah, that is our anti-rotation side steps. We're doing 4 rounds, so do 2 rounds on each side. That way we don't have to worry about turning around and switching sides in the middle of the set. Agility ladder, we're going to be doing our hopscotch again. I figured, well, I guess this is going to be after Easter now. Shoot, I didn't time that out very well. Well, it's post-Easter, but, we'll do a little bunny hopscotch. Anyways, I don't have the ladder with me, so that you're going to have to visualize the ladder on the floor. But you have the ladder with those rungs. We're going to jump out and in, going in and out of each of those rungs. So, of course, to avoid the impact, if needed for any reason, we're going to do in, out, out steps. So you're stepping in, out of each of those rungs. The steps are a little more agility. Okay, so that's the added bonus of that. A little less on the cardio side. You might be thinking, if you're doing the jumps and your feet are hitting the rungs and maybe messing up the ladder a little bit, I understand that might be a little frustrating. So you might be tempted to just kind of say, screw the ladder and just do the jumps on the floor like I kind of am doing. I want you to avoid the urge to do that. The point of doing the jumps or the footwork with the actual ladder is to train your feet to have to jump over those rungs. And it's okay if you actually do hit those rungs every once in a while and kind of, mess up the ladder. Your coach will be there to help you straighten it back out. That's okay, because that's how your feet and your body start to learn that you have to kind of pick up the feet more to avoid running into those rungs. So don't get too frustrated. Keep working at it. But that is our agility ladder hopscotch. Stability ball plank. So you're going to do a traditional forearm plank on a stability ball. Okay. You can start on the knees. You want one of you'll know all the clubs have different sizes of these stability balls, couple options. You'll want the medium-ish one. Definitely don't want the biggest one, especially if you're going to be doing the knee version. So if you're doing a knee version, make sure you're not simply in a tabletop like this, because this with my hips bent like this, see, this is really just a stretch and it feels really good and it's not challenging. So what you have to do is kind of bring the arms forward more, sink the hips down. Now my core is being challenged, my balance is being challenged. Okay, see how my shoulders are directly on top of my elbows and my hips are kind of level, right? So you can start with the knees. Definitely want a mat under your knees, by the way. This is not comfortable. Next option to progress is up on the toes. Hips again level. This is not accurate. This is not right. We don't want the butt way up, no steeple butt. So hips out, just like a plank on the floor, right? Hips level, shoulders right on top of those elbows. Gonna feel a lot of wobbliness, okay? That's part of why this is challenging. Now, a good way to start getting out, if you felt maybe the core work, you feel it, but maybe you feel like your core strength is there, but This was too wobbly. So a great way to start working on getting used to the stability ball plank is press the ball into a wall or one of the racks and start working on it like this. No, I'm turned away from you here, but so the wall is acting as a stabilizer, but it's still allowing your body and your forearms and to get used to your arms being on that ball. So your body's getting used to that unstable feeling of the elbows on the ball, but you have the wall there to kind of stabilize it so the ball can't roll away from you. So that's a great place to start for that. If the ball is not working for you for any reason, get your coach's attention and they'll give you another plank variety. This next one I think is going to be more challenging than it looks, so we'll see what happens when you try it. ISO, which stands as a shortened way of saying isometric, and isometric means you're holding still basically. So ISO, upright band row, back row. Messed that one up. Okay, so everyone, all of you who have been with us for a while are familiar with our back rows with the band, right? Pull back, elbows in snug, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Done that a lot. We're gonna do one row and we're gonna hold it for the whole 30 seconds. You heard me correctly. So plant your feet, soft bend in your knees, just enough so that they're not locked in straight like that, okay? So you want to engage your legs so you feel planted, you feel grounded. Shoulders down and back, so you want to push my shoulders down away from my ears. Lengthen your neck, pull back, squeeze. So see how I didn't just pull like this, but I actually brought my shoulders and my arms back. Chest out, squeeze those shoulder blades together. If it's not challenging enough in your back muscles, take a little step back, so more tension on the band. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and we're going to hold it. Breathe in and out steadily. So that whole time, even for those 3 seconds, I was just holding it. Squeezing these shoulder blade back muscles together. And it's you're going to start to feel a lot of fatigue in those upper back muscles. That is the point. So we're just holding that squeeze like that. Plant your feet. Let's see how those back muscles feel at the end of 30 seconds. Next station, shuffle touch, okay? So I set up a very tiny, teeny baby version of this just so I can get the cones in view of the camera. Your coach will have a much longer pathway set out for you. Many of you are familiar with our shuffles. So with a shuffle, you stay kind of in maybe a half or a quarter of a squat. So a soft bend in the knees, hips are back, you're kind of light on your feet, so you're able to kind of move quickly. You're on the balls of your feet. And you stay low while you're doing your shuffle. I'll show you, obviously. The touch component, it's called a shuffle touch. When you get to each end, you have to touch the cone before you can go back to the other side. So I'm going to start on one side. The cones will be in front of you slightly. So you're going to bend those knees, shuffle, 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 touch, shuffle, 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 touch. So see how my feet are meeting in the middle. I'm staying low. I'll show you from the side so you can kind of see my body position. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. No cone here, but pretend there is. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Okay. So, yeah, you stay on the balls. Think of let's see, like a tennis player. They're always kind of on the balls, their feet ready to move at any second because they have to move very, very quickly and react quickly. And then you get a little bit lower to touch that cone. These are taller cones. Some of the clubs have those shorter ones. You just have to reach a little bit lower to touch those. Anyways, but that is our shuffle touch. Oh, for anyone, it's I wouldn't even call it impact because if done properly, a shuffle is super, super light. Because you're just really just doing very light, like, I don't even know a good synonym, but it's very light. If for any reason that's not working for you, do like kind of a soft, see how I'm kind of dipping down. Oh, I didn't touch the cone. Like a soft, wide step touch. That can be an alternative. It will be less cardio, but it'll still get that lateral movement. It'll challenge those hips and those glutes. Our last station is a kettlebell halo. Again, many of you are familiar with the halo, but I don't think we've done it in this half kneel before, as far as I can remember. We're gonna do a dumbbell halo. So yeah, you start with the bottoms up. Our half kneel position, 90-degree bend in the front knee, 90-degree bend at the bottom knee. okay? Kettlebell starts at the chest, go around, keeping it low and tight, switching direction with each new rep, trying to avoid too much wiggling and wobbling here. So we don't want to be kind of compensating by wiggling and wobbling too much with the hips. Okay, so keep it controlled in the core muscles. Keep your belly in tight, your belly button in tight to the spine to keep that control. So yes, you're switching direction with each new rep with the upper body, but we're going to switch sides with each new round. So there's 4, kind of like we did with the anti-rotation side steps. There's 4 rounds. So we'll switch legs with each new round. That way you don't have to worry about switching in the middle. So that's our half kneel kettlebell halo. Okay, our team builder. This one is ridiculous to try to show you by myself because you need a big group of people, but I'll do my best. So you're gonna have your team, your classmates, what have you, in a line laterally, like to your side. So the next person next to me would be here and here, all facing the same way. It's a jump squat line. Jump squats look like this. We had them, I think, 2 weeks ago. Sink down into a normal squat, so hips and butt go back, your knees don't go excessively forward, and you come up trying to get a little bit off the floor as high as you're comfortable, but ideally those feet lift up just a little. You land nice and soft. So yes, big line, person at one end is gonna start. Each person down the line in order, one at a time, does one jump squat. So first person does one, next person, oh, it's my turn, I do one, then it keeps going that way, then we come right back down the line, my turn. I mean, you get the idea, right? Keep going down and back the line. You only have to do one each time it gets to your turn, so it's not that bad. We're gonna do that for 60 seconds. So hopefully you have a big Defy group. So call all of your fellow Defy people and tell them to come to class, because the more people you have, the longer the line, the fewer jump squats you have to do, because it'll come around less and less to you within 60 seconds, right? Anyway, so that's our team builder, jump squat line. Okay, team, that is week 15. See you back next week.